Look, I'm gonna tell you something that'll piss some people off. Only 25 JRPGs in history deserve a perfect score. Not 50, not every game you personally enjoyed, 25. And before you type your angry comment, hear me out, because a 10 out of 10 doesn't mean no flaws. It means transcendence. It means this game broke barriers, changed the genre, and stuck with you for decades. I'm talking 3 non-negotiables. Narrative depth that hits different, mechanical integrity that's fun, not annoying, and aesthetic spectacle with a soundtrack so good you track down the OST. So here's every JRPG that actually earned it. Let's go!
Okay, so this is where it starts. FF4 invented the active time battle system. You know that thing where turns keep moving even when you're in the menu? That system that defined the genre for a decade. Yeah, this game. But here's what makes it perfect. Cecil's arc from Dark Knight to Paladin isn't just a class change, it's a complete thematic transformation about redemption and sacrifice. The game forces you to give up your overpowered dark powers to become weaker, temporarily, because it's the right thing to do. And the character rotation? Party members leave, die, come back, you're constantly adapting. It's a 20-hour masterclass in pacing. Real talk, the difficulty is brutal. The early Dark Knight section will murder you if you don't know what you're doing, but that's the point. Redemption should cost something.
Number 24, Final Fantasy V, Super Nintendo, 1992. You want customization? FF5 has the most flexible job system ever made. 22 jobs. You can mix and match abilities. Make a knight who casts black magic, a thief with white magic healing, a monk with time magic. The combinations are insane. The story? Honestly, it's basic. Villain wants to destroy the world with the power of the void, standard JRPG fare. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because the job system is so deep, so endlessly replayable that you'll run through this game 5 times just to try different builds. Plus, the final boss, X-Death and Neo-X-Death, requires actual strategy. You can't just grind and win. You need specific setups or you're fucked. Here's the downside. The characters are kinda bland. Bartz is a nothing protagonist, but the gameplay, perfect. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, SNES, 1996. This is the game that taught an entire generation that JRPGs didn't have to be complicated. Square and Nintendo teamed up, made a JRPG with Mario characters, and invented timed button presses and turn-based combat. You press A right when you attack, extra damage. Block right when you're hit, less damage. It's simple, it's genius, and games have been copying it ever since. Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi, even modern stuff like Sea of Stars. The writing is legitimately funny. Bowser joins your party and he's sarcastic about the whole save the princess thing. Mallow has an identity crisis. Gino is a possessed doll with PTSD about star beings. And here's the thing, it's only 15 hours long. No grinding, no filler, no bullshit. You can finish it in a weekend, and it's satisfying start to end.
Number 22, Secret of Mana, SNES, 1993. This is the game that proved real-time party RPG combat could work at all. Square said fuck turn-based menus and made a game where 3 characters move around the screen simultaneously, attacking in real time while the AI controls your allies. You control one character. Your party adapts to combat in real time. It's chaotic, it's strategic, and it shouldn't work, but it does. The ring menu, that circular UI that appears when you pause, it was the first radio menu system ever created. You rotate through options without switching screens. It's so elegant that Mass Effect, the Temple of Elemental Evil, and dozens of modern games copied it. Revolutionary UI design. The mechanical depth is insane. Every weapon can be upgraded 8 times using weapon orbs. Use a sword repeatedly, it levels up. Max it out and you unlock a new charged attack at each skill level. Magic works the same way. Cast a spell 50 times and it gets stronger. You're not just grinding stats, you're building your own progression through gameplay. Real-time combat uses a stamina bar. After you attack, the bar depletes. Hit 0, and your next swing does reduce damage. Wait for it to recharge, and you're back to full power. This forces patience over button mashing. This mechanic was so good that Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Neo all adopted stamina-based combat directly from this game. 3-player co-op, drop in, drop out. No grinding solo just to progress with friends. This was revolutionary in 1993. The story, Randy pulls a sword from a stone, Prim escapes a castle, Popo is a spirit with no memory. Together, you restore the Tree of Mana while the Empire destroys the world with technology. Environmental themes woven into the narrative. It's not complex, but it works. Hiroki Takuta's orchestral soundtrack elevated SNES audio. Full orchestra, not chiptune imitation. The music sounds like it belongs in the theatrical experience, not a video game from 1993. Real talk, the story gets thin midway through. Some dungeons overstay their welcome, the translation is clunky in places, but mechanically and aesthetically, this game was a masterclass. Its graphical style and overworld battles were directly adopted by Chrono Trigger. 30 years later, and most action RPGs are still playing catch-up to what Square built here.
Number 21, Final Fantasy VI for the SNES, 1994. This is the pinnacle of 2D JRPGs, period. 14 playable characters, each with a unique ability. Sabin suplexes trains. Edgar has tools that break the economy. Setzer gambles. Shadow literally has a dog that counters. The Magicite system lets you break the class restrictions completely. Equip Esper crystals, learn any magic, boost any stat. By endgame, you can make Terra into a god or turn Scion into a magic nuke. But here's why it's a 10 out of 10. Act 2. Kefka wins. Halfway through the game, the villain succeeds. He becomes a god, splits the world in half, and your party scatters. The world of Ruin is post-apocalyptic. Towns are destroyed, people have given up, and you have to find meaning in that. Terra decides to protect orphans. Celis nearly commits suicide, then chooses to live. Locke finally lets go of his dead girlfriend. It's existentialism in a 16-bit game about finding purpose after the end of the world. Nobuo Uematsu's soundtrack, best in the series. Dark World is a 1-2 punch of melancholy and hope, and Dancing Mad is a 17-minute final boss theme that goes through 4 movements like a classical symphony. Real talk, the second half is non-linear and some players get lost, but the freedom to rebuild your party however you want, that's the point. Number 20, Earthbound, Mother 2 for Super Nintendo, 1994. This game said, "Fuck your swords and castles," and made a JRPG about kids fighting aliens in suburban America. Ness uses baseball bats, Paula has psychic powers, Jeff makes bottle rockets, Pooh is a prince who knows kung fu. You fight hippies, possess taxis, abstract art, and a final boss that's literally cosmic horror. The rolling HP meter is genius. When you take damage, your HP scrolls down like an odometer. If you heal before it hits 0, you survive. It adds tension to turn-based combat that shouldn't exist. And the music? Groovy, weird, jazz fusion with a mother motif that evolves across the whole game. 8 Melodies is the song that saves the world by reminding the final boss of love and humanity. Here's the problem. It bombed in the West. Nintendo's marketing was terrible. They sent out scratch and sniff cards that smelled bad. The tagline was, "This game stinks." But now, cult classic. One of the most unique JRPGs ever made.
Number 19, Dragon Quest V, Hand of the Heavenly Bride. First JRPG to span 3 generations. You start as a kid traveling with your dad. Then your dad dies, you get enslaved for 10 years. You escape, grow up, get married, have children, and your kids join your party to finish what your father started. The bride choice actually matters. Bianca or Nera. The game doesn't tell you who's correct. Both are valid. Both change dialogue for the rest of the game. And your son becomes the legendary hero. Not you. You're just the dad supporting him. Oh, and you can recruit monsters. Defeat enemies and they might join your party. Slimes, dragons, golems. This system inspired Pokemon. Yes, really. Yuji Horii wrote this, Akira Toriyama did the art, Koichi Sugiyama composed. The Dragon Quest Dream Team firing on all cylinders. Real talk, it didn't release in the West until the DS remake in 2009. We missed this masterpiece for 17 years.
Number 18, Final Fantasy VII, PS1, 1997. This is the one that changed everything. First mainline FF on PlayStation, first to go hard on 3D graphics and FMV cutscenes. It sold over 10 million copies and brought JRPGs to the mainstream Western market. The materia system is brilliant. Crystallized magic that you slot into equipment. Link materia together, put all next to cure, and you heal the whole party. Put counter next to Knights of the Round, and you summon a 2-minute cutscene every time you're hit. But here's why it's perfect. The story tackles corporate environmentalism. Shinra Electric Power Company is draining the planet's life force for profit. Cloud has fractured identity and PTSD. Sephiroth is a failed science experiment with a god complex. Aerith dies at the end of Disc 1, and the game doesn't give you a revive. And Nobuo Uematsu's One-Winged Angel. Latin lyrics, full orchestra, the final boss theme that defined epic. Here's the controversial part. The graphics aged like milk. Lego hands, blurry, pre-rendered backgrounds. But the art direction, the cyberpunk slums, the gold saucer, the northern crater still holds up because it's stylized, not realistic. Number 17, Final Fantasy IX. PS1, 2000. Square's apology letter to fans who hated FF8's junction system. This game went back to fantasy roots. Medieval castles, black mages, crystals, airships. A deliberate callback to FF1 through 6. And the story about mortality and purpose is some of the best writing in the series. Vivi's entire arc. He's a black mage who discovers he's a manufactured weapon with a 1-year lifespan. The whole game is him grappling with existence. How do you prove that you existed? Fucking devastating. Zidane is the best FF protagonist. He's not an edgy loner, he's genuinely kind, optimistic, helps everyone, until the end when he breaks and you have to save him. The role reversal is beautiful. The ability system ties equipment to skills. Wear an item long enough and you permanently learn the ability. It encourages experimentation and build diversity. Real talk, the battles are slow, like really slow. Load times between actions can hit 3-4 seconds. It's the one flaw holding this back from a higher on the list. Number 16, XENOGEARS, the most philosophically dense JRPG ever made. Tetsuya Takahashi directed this. Yasunori Mitsuda composed, and they made a game about Gnosticism, Jungian psychology, reincarnation, the nature of God, and whether humanity has free will. The plot twists span 10,000 years. Your party members are reincarnations of the same souls, cursed to repeat cycles of tragedy. The villain is literally God, an omnipotent AI that created humanity as parts for a biological weapon. 2 combat modes, on foot with combo attacks, and in gears, giant mechs with fuel management. Both are deep, both require strategy. Here's the massive downside. Disc 2. Square cut the budget mid-development, so Disc 2 is your characters sitting in chairs while text summarizes what should have been 20 hours of gameplay. Dungeons and boss fights still exist, but entire story arcs are just told to you. Despite that, still a masterpiece. The ambition alone earns it.
Number 15, Suikoden 2, PlayStation 1, 1998. The best political JRPG ever made. You play as the hero of the city-states of Joustin, fighting against the Highland Kingdom. Your childhood best friend Joey ends up on the opposite side, and the game forces you to fight him while both of you believe you're doing the right thing. 108 Stars of Destiny. You recruit 108 unique characters. Each one has a story, a purpose, a role in your headquarters that physically grows as you add people. Blacksmiths, detectives, chefs, a bathhouse, a theater. 3 combat systems, standard turn-based RPG battles, one-on-one duels, and massive army warfare. The army battles are rock, paper, scissors with stakes. Lose, and characters actually die. The game uses 2D sprites in 1998 when everyone else went 3D. Critics panned it, it sold poorly, but now it's recognized as one of the greatest JRPGs ever made because the writing and depth transcend graphics. Real talk, recruiting all 108 characters requires a guide. Some are missable. You will lock yourself out of the true ending on a blind playthrough. Number 14, Chrono Cross, PS1, 1999. The sequel nobody expected. Masato Kato wrote this, Yasunori Mitsuda composed, and they made a game about parallel dimensions, identity, and the consequences of Chrono Trigger's time travel. 45 playable characters, 2 alternate timelines, the world where you exist and the world where you drowned as a child. And the game asks, which timeline is real? Which version of these people deserves to exist? The combat system removes MP. Instead, you build up element power by attacking, then spend it on spells that get stronger the more you use them. It's stamina-based and positional. And the soundtrack,
Time Scar, Radical Dreamers, Dragon God, some of the most beautiful music ever put in a game. Here's the controversy. It barely connects to Chrono Trigger. The cast from the original, mostly dead or written out. Fans wanted a direct sequel and got an experimental philosophical meditation instead. But taken on its own, 10 out of 10. Ambitious as hell.
Number 13, Vagrant Story for the PS1, 2000. Yasumi Matsuno's weird-ass masterpiece. This game has no shops, no towns, no NPCs. Just you, Ashley Riot, exploring the abandoned city of Liamond and uncovering a conspiracy involving cults, political intrigue, and dark magic. The weapon crafting system is absurd. You combine blades, grips, and pommels. Weapons gain affinity against enemy types the more you use them. A sword that's great against humans sucks against dragons. You need multiple weapons and constant adaptation. Combat is real-time with pause. You target body parts, legs to slow them, arms to reduce damage, head for crits. It's like a turn-based tactical game pretending to be action. And the cinematography. This game uses camera angles and shot composition like a fucking Kurosawa film. Cutscenes are framed like you're watching a prestige drama. Real talk, it's hard, like genuinely difficult. The learning curve is a wall, but once you understand the systems, chef's kiss.
Number 12, Valkyrie Profile, PS1, 1999. Norse mythology, Ragnarok is coming. You play as Lenneth Valkyrie, recruiting dead warriors to fight in the War of the Gods. The combat is real-time combo chains. Each party member is assigned to a face button. Press the buttons in rhythm to chain attacks. Get the timing right and you trigger special moves and extra hits. But here's the twist. The warriors you recruit, you have to send them to Valhalla. The game forces you to give up party members you've invested in because that's your job. You're a glorified recruiter for an apocalypse. 3 endings based on how loyal you are to Odin. The A ending requires breaking the game's intended path and rebelling against the gods. It's 30+ hours of extra content hidden behind obscure requirements. Real talk, the voice acting is rough. PS1 era, ethereal queen screaming. But the story, music, and combat, timeless.
Number 11, Star Ocean: The Second Story, PS1, 1998. The game that perfected real-time action RPG combat in the 90s. You control one character. The AI controls the other 3. You can program their behavior: aggressive, defensive, conserve MP, go all out. The battles are fast, chaotic, and require positioning. The item creation system is insane. You can write books, paint art, cook food, forge weapons, craft accessories. You can break the game economy in the first hour if you know what you're doing. 87 possible endings based on relationship values, who you recruit, who you pair up, what dialogue choices you make. The permutations are wild. Plus private actions. In every town, you can split the party and trigger unique character moments. Miss them, and you lock out character development. Here's the downside. The translation is janky. I'm impressive and other weird lines became memes, but the gameplay depth, unmatched.
At number 10, we've got Final Fantasy X from the PS2, 2001. This was the first mainline FF with full voice acting, and it's about sacrificial duty. Titus travels with Yuna knowing she's gonna die at the end. Summoners sacrifice their lives to summon the final Aeon and kill Sin, the monster that's terrorized the world for 1,000 years. Except it's a lie. Sin always comes back. The cycle continues. And the game asks, is tradition worth perpetuating suffering? The conditional turn-based battle system removes ATB's time pressure. You can see the turn order. Plan 7 moves ahead. Swap party members mid-battle with no penalty. It's chess. The sphere grid is non-linear progression. Move in any direction. Unlock nodes. Build your characters however you want. By endgame, you can max everyone's stats. Nobuo Umemasu's to Xanark, the piano melody that opens the game and makes you cry before you even know why. Real talk. Titus's voice acting gets memed. The laughing scene is awkward as hell, but take it in context, he's forcing himself to laugh to cheer up Yuna. It's actually heartbreaking.
Number 9, Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King, PS2, 2004. The first mainline Dragon Quest to go full 3D, and it's gorgeous. Akira Toriyama's art style translated to cel-shaded graphics, seamless world exploration with no loading screens, orchestral music by Koichi Sugiyama. This is the ultimate classic JRPG experience refined to perfection. The tension system adds risk-reward to turn-based combat. You can psych up to skip turns and build energy. Hit 100 and your next attack does massive damage. But if you get hit while charging, you lose it all. The story is pure hero's journey. Cursed king, evil jester, save the world. It's trope-heavy and doesn't apologize. Because when you execute tropes this well, you don't need subversion. And the localization. The English version adds voice acting and regional accents. Every town has a distinct dialect. It's charming as hell. Real talk, it's 80 to 100 hours long. Some dungeons drag, but the consistency of quality never drops.
Number 8. Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age, PS2 2006, Remaster 2017. Yasumi Matsuno's political epic. Forget Chosen Ones and crystals, this is a story about war between empires, political marriages, and resistance movements. Ashe is a fallen princess, Bosch is a disgraced knight, Balthier is a sky pirate, and you're caught in geopolitical conflicts where nobody's fully right or wrong. The Gambit system is programmable AI. If ally HP less than 50%, cast Cure. If enemy weak to fire, cast Fyra. You set conditions and your party executes. It's like coding your own tactics. Combat is real-time but methodical. Positioning matters. Aggro management matters. You're constantly adapting based on enemy behaviors. The International Zodiac job system, included in Zodiac Age, adds job classes. Now characters have defined roles: Knight, Black Mage, Ulan. It adds structure to the open-ended original. Here's the downside. The story is slow. Political intrigue means lots of talking. If you want action every 5 minutes, this ain't it. But if you want intelligent writing that treats you like an adult, this is peak FF.
Number 7. Persona 3, PlayStation 2, PSP, 2006-2009. This is the game that changed JRPGs forever. Katsura Hashino directed this, Shoji Meguro composed, and they created the social sim structure that defines modern Persona. You're a high school student by day, you manage time, build relationships, study for exams, join clubs. At night, you fight shadows in Tartarus, a procedurally generated tower, to prevent the apocalypse. The social link system ties relationships to combat power. Max out a confidant, and you unlock the ultimate persona of that arcana. Mechanical progression through narrative investment. The theme is Memento Mori, death. Every character grapples with mortality. Yukari's father died in an accident. Akihiko's sister died protecting him. Junpei feels like he's wasting his life. And the final boss is humanity's collective death wish. The ending is one of the most beautiful sacrifices in gaming. The protagonist becomes a seal to prevent Nyx from ending the world. He dies in March on graduation day, smiling in Aegis's arms. Shoji Meguro's soundtrack, hip-hop, jazz fusion vocals by Yumi Kawamura, Burn My Dread, Mass Destruction, Memories of You. Real talk, Tartarus is repetitive. Procedural generation means identical floors for 250 plus levels, but the social sim half carries it. Number 6, Persona 4 Golden, or Vita, 2012. The murder mystery that perfected the Persona formula. You move to rural Inaba. People start dying. Bodies are found hanging from TV antennas, and you discover the Midnight Channel, a fog-covered world inside TVs where people's shadows manifest as twisted versions of themselves. The social link writing is the best in the series. Every character has depth. Kanji struggles with masculinity and identity, Rise grapples with her public persona versus her real self, Naoto hides her gender to be taken seriously as a detective. The theme is truth and self-acceptance. The TV world reflects people's lies. You have to accept your shadow, the parts of yourself you hide, or it kills you. And the party dynamics. This isn't a group of loners forced together. They're friends, they hang out, they joke. By the end, you believe they die for each other. The true ending requires you to solve the mystery yourself. The game won't hold your hand. Pick the wrong culprit and you get a bad ending. Figure it out and you unlock 20 more hours. Real talk, the dungeons are still randomly generated and boring, but everything else, perfection. Number 5, Persona 5 Royal, PS4, 2020. The highest rated JRPG on Metacritic, and it deserves it. The Phantom Thieves are gentlemen thieves who steal distorted desires. Corrupt teacher abusing students, steal his heart. Mob boss exploiting people, change his cognition. Your vigilantes using supernatural powers to force evil people to confess. The style is unmatched.
The UI is sharp, aggressive, animated, red and black everywhere. The menus have personality. The battle transitions are stylish as hell. Even the pause screen looks cool. Combat rewards exploiting weaknesses. Hit an enemy's weakness and you get a 1 more. Chain 1 mores into an all-out attack. The flow is smooth, fast, addictive, and the Confidant system evolved. Now social links give gameplay benefits, discounts, bonus XP, combat support. Investing in people make you stronger mechanically and narratively. Royal adds Kasumi and Maruti. The third semester explores determinism, trauma, and whether a perfect false reality is better than a painful truth. It's philosophical as fuck. Shoji Meguro's soundtrack, acid jazz, rock, vocals by Lin, Rivers in the Desert, Takeover, Last Surprise. Here's the downside. It's 100+ hours. Some palaces drag in the middle, but the highs are so high, you forgive it.
Number 4. Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Switch, 2018. The ultimate traditional JRPG. Yuji Horí's swan song, Akira Toriyama's art, Koichi Sugiyama's orchestral score. This is Dragon Quest at its absolute peak. The Luminary is the chosen hero, destined to defeat the Dark Lord. Classic as it gets, except the villain wins. Act 2 starts with the world broken, your party scattered, your sword shattered, and you rebuild from nothing. The turn-based combat adds pet powers, special team-up attacks when characters are hyped. Eric and Jade combine for critical claim. The Luminary and Veronica nuke with Magic Burst. Its Chrono Trigger's dual techs evolved. The character stories are heartfelt. Sylvando's circus troupe spreading joy in the apocalypse. Serena overcoming her sister's death. Eric confronting his past. Here's the controversial part. Act 3 uses time travel to undo Act 2's consequences. Character deaths are reversed, dramatic sacrifices erased. Some players hate it. Feels like the game didn't trust its own stakes. But others love it. You get the happy ending without losing the emotional journey. Even with that debate, this is the best execution of classic JRPG tropes ever made.
Number 3. XENOBLADE Chronicles Definitive Edition, Switch, 2020. Tetsuya Takahashi came back with a vengeance. The world is built on 2 dead gods, Bionis and Mechonis. Organic life lives on the Bionis. Machines live on the Mechonis. And they're at war because the Titans were fighting when they died. Shulk wields the Monado, a sword that lets him see the future. Combat shows you visions of your party dying. You have 7 seconds to change fate. Call out warnings, reposition, use the right skill. Turn-based combat mixed with real-time positioning. The plot twist, the Bionis isn't dead. It's a malevolent god trying to resurrect by feeding on the Mechonis' people. Humanity on Bionis? We're its food supply. And Shulk has to choose between his species and the truth. The world is massive. You explored the Bionis' leg, thigh, torso, head. Each region is a full open map with hundreds of side quests. It's overwhelming in the best way. Yoko Shimomura and Yasunori Mitsuda on the soundtrack. Gar Plain, You Will Know Our Names, Engage the Enemy. Real talk. Side quests are MMO-style filler. Collect 5 flowers. Kill 10 enemies. The main story is incredible, but the padding is real.
Number 2. Mother 3, GBA 2006. The emotional conclusion to the Mother series, and it'll break you. Shigesato Itai wrote this, and he made a game about loss, grief, and whether humanity deserves to exist. Chapter 1. You play as Flint. Your wife dies. Your son goes missing. Your other son, Lucas, is traumatized and mute. The rest of the game is Lucas growing up in a world being corrupted by the Pigmask Army, a fascist force introducing technology and capitalism to a pastoral village. The Mad Gypsies are gender-fluid mentors who teach Lucas PSI powers. Each one sacrifices themselves to protect the needles, holding back the Dark Dragon. And the final boss is Klaus, your brother. He was kidnapped, brainwashed, turned into a cyborg. Lucas has to fight him, and when Klaus regains his memories, he kills himself using lightning. The final sequence, Lucas pulls the final needle, the Dark Dragon wakes, the world ends. Screen goes black, and then text boxes from every character saying they're okay, implying rebirth.
not destruction. Love Theme plays. It's the most emotionally devastating song in gaming. Real talk? It never released officially in the West. Fan translation only. Nintendo, release this, you cowards.
Number 1, Chrono Trigger, SNES, 1995. Yeah, we're back at the beginning because 30 years later, nothing has topped us. The Dream Team created the most perfectly paced JRPG ever made. 20 hours, 15 endings, new game plus that rewards replaying, dual and triple text that redefine party strategy, time travel that matters. Your actions in 600 AD change 1000 AD. The future is shaped by the past. And the central conflict, stopping Lavos from destroying the world in 1999, requires you to travel through 7 eras to gather the strength to challenge fate. The side quests are character-driven. Robo's identity crisis, Frog's revenge against Magus, Lucas saving her mother from the accident that crippled her. These are optional, but they make the story whole. Yasunori Mitsuda's soundtrack defined JRPG music. World Revolution, Corridors of Time, Frog's theme. The ending where you beat Lavos early and ride through time meeting every NPC you helped. The farewell to Marl at the Moonlight Parade. The fucking pixel animation of the characters celebrating at the Millennial Fair. No other JRPG has matched this level of mechanical elegance, narrative cohesion, and artistic perfection. And here's the thing, it's not perfect because it has no flaws. The translation has issues, some texts are useless. Chrono dies and you can revive him, but it's optional and weird. But it's perfect because it transcended its medium. It proved JRPGs could be art.
So there it is, 25 JRPGs that earned perfection. And look, I know some of you are pissed your favorite didn't make it. What about Persona 2? No Xenosaga? Where's FF8? Real talk, those games are great. But a 10 out of 10 isn't I really liked it, it's this changed the genre and stuck with me for decades. These 25 games share something. Narrative depth that hits different. Mechanical integrity that's fun, not tolerable. Aesthetic spectacle with soundtracks you hunt down. Miss one pillar? You're not on this list. And honestly, that's okay, because these 25 prove the JRPG genre can achieve art. They're the blueprints, the templates, the standard. Everything else is chasing what these games already perfected. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go replay Chrono Trigger for the 47th time.